Hello everybody and welcome back. So I find myself idly chatting with Hanako, as usual, when lunchtime finally rolls by. Are the later ones in the series good as well? Not really. You are probably best off just sticking to the original. His later books didn't live up to it, other than maybe God Emperor. Dune? Thanks. I wasn't really sure if. As Hanako steps to the side, I see Shizune stride up in her typically business-like manner, flanked by her ever-present bright-haired shadow. Try as I might, I can't read any hint of their intent from their faces. Shizune's poker face and Misha's seemingly boundless cheerfulness are a devilish combination. Morning, Shizune, Misha. Hi. I accentuate the greeting with a nod to Shizune in order to get the point across. She promptly and courtly returns the gesture to both of us. It's been a long while since I've really talked to either of them. For a while, I thought they might be avoiding me, but I eventually came to the conclusion that Shizune really isn't the type to do so. Morning, Morning, Chichan says that Muto wants to see you sometime. Because of this statement, my face contorts, as if I'd just eaten spoiled food, giving Misha no end of amusement. Wahahahaha. Anyone think you were in trouble, Hichan? You may not be aware of it, but you have the least to worry about out of anyone in the class. What an unexpected vote of confidence. Even Hanako nods hesitantly to affirm the point. Thanks, I'll keep that in mind. There was something I wanted to ask you though. And what might that be, Hichan? I have a feeling this won't go over well, but here it goes. Is there any reason why you and Lily don't get along? It seems like even a little civility will help you both in your duties. Shizune's cold stare after Misha happily signs the words stops me in my tracks. In hindsight, I really could have worded that better. Out of the corner of my eye, I'm sure I see Hanako move back, just a little. Thankfully, Shizune notices this, and lets her temper dissipate as she forcefully runs her hand through her hair to let off steam. Perfectly on cue, Misha begins interpreting the second Shizune arms begin to move. I will say that such matters aren't relevant to you, but since you seem to have befriended Lily. She pauses to adjust her glasses, evidently attempting to articulate her point in the best possible manner. While I assume the same of her, I cannot call my own views on that matter unbiased. Suffice to say, we were close before than we are now. Shizune makes a quick gesture to Misha to stop her from interpreting, then has a quick meeting with her before proceeding. The fact that the two can communicate so easily yet so secretively right in front of us is slightly disconcerting. Hanako seems to share my curiosity at the proceedings, looking on with thinly masked interest. As they finish their opaque conversation, Misha looks slightly deflated. I guess her opinion on the matters wasn't followed. Shishan says you should ask Lily about it, as she doesn't want to be the one that gets you involved. Well, I'll just have to ask her after she gets back. At least I got some information out of Shizune. The two have been on close terms means that they weren't always at each other's throats, or at least not quite to this extent. I understand. Thanks anyway. With a nod and a farewell, the two break away and walk out of the door. No doubt, headed straight to the student council room. Could have gone worse, I suppose. Hanako lets out a long breath, relieved at the confrontation's resolution. I can't say I blame her. I'll see you later then. Yeah, I'll meet you in the tea room. See ya. With that, she waves and joins the trickle of students leaving the classroom. Nakai, could I speak with you for a moment? Delivered in his typical monotone manner, he apparently decided that I need a reminder to see him already. Eventually I finish packing up my things. By the time I reach his desk, the classroom is close to empty. Yes, sir? He looks up, taking measure of my face, before giving an awkward, rather obviously acted chuckle. Huh. No need to feel guilty. You're not in any trouble. I just want to ask you something I've asked a few other students so far. That's something, at least for a moment. I thought my maxim of keeping my head down and pen up had failed me. So what do you want to talk about? To start with, what do you think of your progress in this class so far? Good? Bad? I detest that kind of question. For a fair amount of time, I try to think of a response that is neither pathetically humble nor cocky. I'd say I'm doing okay. The work doesn't seem too hard, and I'm doing better on the tests than I thought I would. That's a good answer. A correct one too. I give a mental sigh of relief at his satisfaction. To say that I don't gain a little pride from his comment will be a blatant lie. In the maelstrom of thoughts clouding my mind after learning that I'd be transferring to Yamaku, my school grades seemed utterly unimportant. Being entirely clueless as to what skill level would be assumed of me once I actually got here, I was hugely relieved when I found out that I understood well enough the schoolwork we'd be doing. Oh no, I read it right. I know your circumstances might have thrown a wrench in the works, but have you given any thought to your future? My future? What you like to do as a profession? Do you have any thoughts of where you'd like to be in 10 or 20 years' time? I wouldn't be surprised if you covered this ground in your previous school, but I don't have any record of it if you have. I suppose that the last year of high school is the time when students will need to be thinking about such things. To be honest, I really haven't leaned much thought compared to my immediate situation. Catching on my thinking, Muto speaks up. It's okay if you haven't decided on anything specific yet. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of your classmates were still undecided. After all, maybe pursue one of your talents. He's rather obviously trying to squeeze an answer out of me, and something about his previous wording makes me suspicious. He didn't seem to be intent on asking everybody like this, so he must have some kind of selection criteria. At a guess, or grades in his class. Well, something in science might be the path of least resistance. His face brightens. No doubt, pleased at the thought of a prized student following his subject as a career path. Good. Having a general idea is the first step. I will advise you to think on it, though. I will. Things are kinda settling down, which will help. Good to hear. Oh, and I've noticed that Ikesawa's attendance and grades have improved since you became to be friends. I'd like to thank you for that. That's nice. I'm surprised you noticed we knew each other. You're literally the only one who talks to her. How am I supposed to not notice that? I'm your teacher. I see you all. He gives a chuckle as awkward as his smile. Huh. This guy really has no idea how to properly act around others. Every facial movement seems like an act of careful but misdirected choreography. You could say that having a general idea of who knows whom is part of a teacher's job. Catching himself before he goes off on a tangent, he loudly coughs into his hand. I'm sure you have things to do, though, so I'll stop it there. Please do think about where you're headed from here, as you don't have long enough to go before you finish high school. I will, thanks. The brief talk ended. I take my leave. He goes back to fusing with the teaching materials on his desk. This is one of the times I'm envious of Lily, almost maddeningly so. To have one's future so clear and so assured, yet working towards it from such a young age. Is an idea so utterly irreconcilable with my own thoughts, mired in the present day, just as they've always been. Katawa Shoujo. Walking through the lobby to the cafeteria, I silently rue my daily routine, having been completely thrown off. It has seemed like a normal day. I arrive in class before most, due to waking early and having become quite adept at choking down my pills without choking, as I get ready for the day. But as students trickle in, one never materialized, Hanako. I step inside, my eyes scanning the expanse of the cafeteria in search of a suitable place to take a seat. It's a task made more difficult by the group of students moving about and busily talking. Get! A hand pounds my back hard a couple of times, severely winding me. I couldn't care less about the culprit as I focus my thoughts on my chest in a near automatic reaction. How many times are you going? The other routes don't have that many heart attacks. My hand instinctively tightens on my breast. On what? On my breast. Shall it be your chest? Your chest. And I start going through the steps I rehearse in my mind every other day. Breathe steadily in and out. With a measure of relief, I can slowly feel my chest becoming less tense. By the time I look up, my face is covered in sweat from the experience. God damn it was you! Hey man, are you okay? God damn it, don't do that, you idiot! He retreats back, an expression of unease written on his face. In hindsight, I probably shouldn't have barked at him, considering he had no way to know. I give a sigh and right myself with some difficulty. Sorry, I just have some chest problems. Sharp knocks aren't good. It seems strange to see him so upset. The fact that I can't do anything about it irritates me. Let's get lunch. Okay, it's good to have some company for once. We start off to the serving line. One good thing is that Kenji and I can make a small talk nowadays, as opposed to my only interaction with him being anti-feminist lectures. Seems like it'd be hard to find an empty table. There's a few people I wouldn't mind sitting with. Nobody like you. Nobody's like you though. I feel a shiver run through my spine. Clarify that now. They don't listen. Their minds are closed. It's the media, man. The goddamn brainwashing, mainstreaming feminist faces media. He takes a breath, and I savor the second of silence. Damn, they control everything. Everything but you and me. I relax a little while we grab our food and drink. So, what you got for me? Huh? Come on! You've been hanging around Sado and the other chick for ages now. Rumors are all over my class, and probably some of the others too. Eavesdropping isn't a good habit. Let me guess, you never do it. Not even when you're bored? Really? Well, Fine. Point taken. Most of us stop to have soup ladled into a couple of small bowls and placed onto our trays. The concoction that lands into the bowl looks pretty questionable, but at least it smells reasonably good. But all the tables are empty. As we take our seats at a miraculously free table, I try to think of something that will actually interest him at all. I hope I can come up with an acceptable topic. I found an answer to that question you asked a couple of weeks back. Where Lily's non-Japanese half comes from. That is half come from. That is. Good man, it's Russia, right? Totally Russia. Scotland. He's visibly stopped in his tracks. Scotland? Yeah, that was my reaction too. She can speak English fluently and everything. Damn it! Do you realize what this means? How terrifying this news is to me? I think he's hyperventilating. Passing out for a little while will probably make him more relaxed than he normally is. Okay, I don't know what option I'm supposed to take here. Let me look up. Lily Rouge, Katawa, give it a second. Ruta final buenos. Ignora sus delirios insanos. Okay. Ignore his insane ramblings. I dig into my food, hoping he'll take the hint from my silence. I just lost 1000 yen, man. 1000 yen. Damn, this is the worst day ever. No such luck. You're kidding me. You made a bet about her nationality. One of the dudes in my class was bugging me about it. I gave him some of my wisdom, and he had the audacity to say my logic was wrong. So what did he think? Germany or something. It doesn't matter. What matters is my 1000 yen. Damn, this day is ruined thanks to her. What a bitch. He looks utterly devastated as he wolfs down several clumps of his soggy soy-soaked rice. It only takes a few mouthfuls before he pokes his chopsticks at me, stabbing the air repeatedly in revelation. Why? Wold. Didn't your mother ever tell you not to speak with your mouth full? He gives me a dirty look before choking down the rest of the food left in his mouth and taking a gulp of juice. It's rather unsightly. Remembering my own food sitting in front of me, I decided to get the task of eating the cafeteria food over and done with as fast as possible. The sooner I do so, the sooner the experience will be over. So, as I was saying, why would anyone want to live in that place anyway? I mean, what is there to see? Grassy plains? That's it? Lots and lots of grassy plains? And immigrants? And men in kilts? I am not sure which is worse, this food or his worldview. I can feel my face being dragged down by their combined weight. Not that he notice or care. It's not that bad. Why do you care about her so much anyway? She's just your class representative after all. He gives a malevolent chuckle. Were this anyone but Kenji, I'd feel uneasy at how he sounds. I found the chink in the Phoenix Legion's armor. It took a while, but I'm confident that this is going to be how we can bring down the whole system. I'm about to blow your mind. Are you ready? I tune out his rambling for a moment as I finish my rice and start on the unappetizing soup. One taste is enough to confirm that it's cold. Ready as I'll ever be. I confirm that Lily is in the mafia. What? Alright, stay with me for a second here, and I'll describe the scene. I wish I could do otherwise. Lily's there, walking down the street after school. You're not stalking her, are you? No, damn man, I do have some sense of self-preservation. But not dignity or morals or social standards. Anyway, as I was saying, this car pulls up next to her, and guess who steps out? A man in a pristine pinstripe suit waves her in. Then the two leave just like that. I tell you, man, she's under protection. Under protection. A man in a... Oh, I can see where this is going now. It takes an effort to not to sigh in exasperation. Let me guess, this man was about average height, had a slight slender build, had blonde hair, looked foreign, and smiled a lot. He looks positively stunned. I take advantage of the moment of quiet to quickly gulp a mouthful of cold soup. It seems you are more observant than I thought. Yes, I have chosen well. He giggles a little and nods to himself so dramatically that it looks comical. I can't tell whether that's intentional or not, and the fact makes me frown. This has important ramifications, you know. If she really is connected to people like them, and we are smart about what we do with this information, we could turn this into our greatest weapon against the student council. Once he starts rambling into conspiracy territory, my use suddenly becomes of much more importance. Only half listening to his pontifications, my mind drifts to the matter of Lily and her antipathy for Shizune. The past between them is steadily becoming more coherent, but I am not sure if it should be learning of her past this way. Indeed, even if I do work out what went on, it really doesn't seem like my business to go and interfere. Damn, not having Lily around is making my thoughts wander. I'm noticeably more bored and sullen without her company, and the same goes for Hanako. All we do during lunch anymore is eat and play chess. Come to think of it, I need to go check on Hanako after school too. Considering her much improved attendance, I'm guessing she's come down with something. Oh, we didn't get... I wanted to know more. Oh, Nakai. I stop as I'm about to leave the classroom, turning on the ball of my heel to meet Muto. He's holding out to me a couple of the worksheets we'll be working on during the day with his long, lanky arm. Would you mind giving this to Ikigasawa? I'd normally ask one of the girls to do it, but I assume you'll be checking on her. For a moment I briefly considered the possibility of that being more than an innocent prediction. I quickly discard the idea, though, as it's hard to think of him acting in such Machiavellian way. It's not his nature. Sure, no problem. Walking up the hallway of the girls' dormitory, several ideas of why Hanako's being absent float around my head. The most obvious of them is just a simple cold. But we'll find out about that next time.